Again, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Gramlich, you seem to be in a tizzy there, want to respond to some of the statements of Dr. Lesser. Do you have any response regarding the performance of the wind industry in my windy city of Chicago?
Yes, thank you. I mean, I didn't hear anything from Dr. Lesser that contradicted the statements I made about many parts of the country being able to reliably integrate vastly greater amounts of wind energy than we already have on the system. We were just in our annual conference in Chicago with about 10,000 people, and Governor Branstad from Iowa came there and spoke, and he was raving about the 20% of their electricity that comes from wind. And I just saw also this week he announced that they are bringing 1,000 more megawatts. And I don't think he or Mid-American Energy want an unreliable power grid. In fact, I think they want to further diversify their electricity portfolio. When we were all here last, and I testified before the same subcommittee, we were talking about the value of a diverse portfolio. And I'm not saying we should do 100% wind on the grid. I'm saying, as we all said then, every panelist said, yes, we need a more diverse portfolio. Wind would be just one part, but an important part of that diverse portfolio. It will keep the lights on. And the costs, I don't disagree that there can be some incremental costs with integrating any resource, but you have to say as compared to what? If you increase more wind on the grid, you may have, as I indicated, a very modest cost. If you put more large conventional plants on the grid, you also have an incremental cost.
Thank you so much. Mr. Seifold, in your written testimony, you mentioned that there are concerns in the Midwest Independent System Operator, MISO region, regarding the number of coal-fired power generators that would need to be retired and replaced with natural gas generators. You cited the testimony of MISO's Executive Vice President, Claire Moeller, from her March 19, 2013 testimony before the subcommittee that MISO estimated that about 11.5 gigawatts of coal-fired generation may need to be replaced to comply with environmental regulations, and that MISO was currently identifying potential impediments to integrating that amount of gas-fired generation in order to plan accordingly. Are you aware of what some of those barriers might be? Do you have any concerns regarding the natural gas pipelines industry's ability to build the capacity or infrastructure that is needed in order to keep pace with the market demand in the MISO region or any other region?
Thank you for the question, Congressman. And you know, as I said earlier, the concerns that INGA has are regionally targeted. MISO is one where a study had been done that said there are conversions that are going to occur from coal to most likely natural gas. Is there adequate pipeline capacity available? INGA is very confident that the pipeline industry is up to being able to build that pipeline capacity needed to meet the additional demand on the pipelines there. What is required, though, is that generators actually sign up for some firm transportation to make sure that capacity is built. I'm not saying that every generating plant built has to have firm transportation, but I'm saying there needs to be a review, which MISO actually did, that said, you know, there are situations where there may not be adequate pipeline capacity, and the only way that pipeline capacity would be built is if there are some long-term contracts signed that allows those pipeline builds to be economically built.
Mr. Ciccio, do you have any responses?
I would agree that we have a very good regulatory approach in how pipelines are built. What we are concerned about is, as I previously expressed, is that there is no entity that is overseeing this pipeline capacity at peak demand concern. There is, in the electric side of the market, there is the North American Electric Reliability Corporation that is evaluating the nation for electric reliability. We are raising the question for a conversation that there's this absence of oversight and determining whether or not there is capacity problems in the natural gas pipeline. And so that is a concern.